Hi everyone, this is Journeyman2 here, and I'm going to be doing a Domino Leadership versus Expert Next Evolution campaign. Show off some of these new scenarios, the new heroes, and we're going to jump right into the first scenario, that is Morlock Siege. And the way this scenario works is this first stage of the main scheme. Every step one of the villain phase, when we place threat, we are going to place a knock counter to represent the marauders trying to infiltrate the sewers that the Morlocks are hiding in. And the main scheme is going to advance as we place that third knock counter, so at the start of the third villain phase. They can also advance it through scheming, but there is a slight benefit to us if we can postpone them advancing until the third knock counter. All the while, they're going to be being defeated and placed under routed, and they each get Retaliate 1 for each villain under routed, as well as some encounter cards get stronger for each villain under routed as well. Now, the key thing here is that after we defeat a villain, the next villain on top of the villain deck is going to activate immediately. And the timing works out so that it's before we can even stun and confuse it, so we will be taking a villain activation every time we defeat a villain, so at least 2 extra activations per game. We have our Morlocks face down set aside, the Hide Treachery face down set aside, and we're going to pick one of these campaign side schemes to start with, and then put its corresponding encounter card into the encounter deck. So we'll go ahead and zoom in on the side schemes and take a look at those while I pull up the campaign log. Alright, so we're going to have 6 side schemes to pick from, and there are a lot of good ones for Domino. Gear Up gives you Pouches, which is a double wild resource card to add to your deck, and of course Domino loves wild resources, and a double wild resource with her ability it turns into 4. Mission Prep allows you to play an upgrade of cost 2 or less after you defeat this, so you can just start the game with Probability Field in play. Team Assembled allows you to play any ally from your deck for free. Prepared Defenses gets you a permanent +1 defense and Retaliate 1. And Established Safe House gets you a support card usable in Alter Ego that lets you draw a card or heal 2 damage from your identity. And the last one, Practice Maneuvers, gives you a discount on 3 cost events, of which Domino has none unless you build for that with her. So immediately, we're not going to be taking Practiced Maneuvers, and this is probably the one we're not going to take the entire campaign. And I think we will start with Mission Prep. So we'll go ahead and get rid of these other side schemes here, put them off to the side for the next games. Start with Mission Prep. It has 4 on it. And the matching encounter card that we need to put in the encounter deck for Mission Prep is Scrambler. So he gets to be added to the encounter deck because we are starting with this Mission Prep scheme. We have our standard and expert sets and obligation and military grade and mutant slayers mods. And let's randomize the villains. We're going to start with Vertigo. So Vertigo, her forced interrupt is you stun the character you control with the highest attack, or she gets +2 attack for this attack. And she has 3 scheme, which is fairly dangerous. She's going to start with 12 hit points. And now we'll go ahead and take a look at our Domino deck. So Domino Leadership, I picked out Leadership because at first I was trying to build a deck that was entirely wilds for her. And it's possible with a combination of Leadership and basic cards. And Leadership, of course, is the best aspect at taking advantage of basic cards because you can do things like make the call and call for backup, which cheat out Gamora and Ghost Spider because it puts them into play instead of plays them, so you get to ignore their play restrictions. And it lets you do cool things like using CITT, which most of the time is a wild in this deck, but occasionally we have a bunch of extra resources as Domino, and that lets us swing with Gamora twice and get 2 more chances to hit Luck Be a Lady, which is one of her best cards. Now, 2 of the allies we're really focusing in here on are Beast and Adam Warlock, because there are a lot of good combos with her signature jackpot resource. So we can play Beast with Jackpot and one other resource, and then he can get Jackpot back to hand. We can spend Jackpot to play another card, and then if we're an alter ego, we can swap Jackpot back into our hand and use Adam Warlock with Jackpot as the last card in our hand to remove 3 threat from a scheme, heal 3 damage from an identity, and deal 3 damage to an enemy. Because Jackpot has all 3 of these resource icons, Adam Warlock is looking to see if the resource icon is present on the card, and this is just an incredible combo. You can even just spend Jackpot a 3rd time for a 3rd 3-cost card, or flip it on top of your deck for something like Luck Be a Lady, which is a little bit, it has pros and cons to Adam Warlock. Now, the pro is it's very cheap. It discards from the top of the deck instead of the hand. But the main advantage here is that you can heal damage from any character, whereas Adam Warlock is from an identity. So you can actually use Luck Be a Lady here, and as long as you're hitting an energy or a wild, you will be healing Adam or healing Gamora and keeping them around a little bit longer for their abilities. We have Sharpshooter here because this creates a ton of value with her pistols. You have a ceiling of 12 damage. If each pistol and both sharpshooters hit Jackpot 4 times, that's 12, and a floor of 4 damage. So even the floor is very high once you get out both pistols and sharpshooter. Superpower Training helps us dig for Probability Field and her pistols. Call for Backup is another way to cheat in our allies. Professor X, Alter Ego Access, and we have tons of resources and innovation to heal. Make the Call is going to be great to get our allies in, and between this and CITT, we're going to have a lot of ways to spend our incredibly wealthy deck. So let's go ahead and get that together, get that shuffled up. We'll go ahead and start the encounter. 1 threat on the main scheme. And let's see what we get here. Well, Beast and Jackpot in the opening is amazing. And we do have Ghost Spider as well. Wow. And X-Gene. So if we spend a good workout and Jackpot on Beast, swap Ghost Spider with Jackpot, and then spend Jackpot and Make the Call to get Ghost Spider out, it leaves us with a leftover resource in X-Gene. We can always swap that to the top of our deck for next turn. Maybe we should mulligan a good workout. Because if we get Digging Deep, I think we can do everything, possibly. Domino is so complex. There's always a better way. There's always a better way to do what I want to do. But getting Luck Be a Lady off Ghost Spider with Jackpot available to us in our discard is going to be so strong here. Let's just leave it as is. We'll keep things simple for now. A good workout and Jackpot. We'll play Beast. Beast will get Jackpot back to our hand. We can spend Ghost Spider on X-Gene. This is how we do it. We don't even need to swap Jackpot back. Just overcomplicating things. And then we can play Make the Call and Jackpot to get back Ghost Spider. And unfortunately, the way Make the Call works is that we spend the resources before Make the Call enters our discard. So Jackpot will not be the top card of our discard, which is very unfortunate. But we will be potentially clearing mission prep this turn. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Beast for 2, Ghost Spider for 1, Domino for 1, and now we get the mission prepped environment. It enters play with 1 prep counter on it. Remove 1 prep counter from here. Each player searches their deck and discard pile for 1 upgrade with a printed cost of 2 or less and puts it into play. And we're not even going to bother putting the counter on it because we're immediately going to go grab Probability Field out of our deck. And we are so set up here. I'm going to set aside the environment. We're going to start that in play for the next game. Okay, 1 threat on the main scheme, and Vertigo is going to be attacking. We can stun Beast or stun Ghost Spider. Either is good. We can defend with Domino, or we can defend with Ghost Spider and get Luck Be a Lady immediately. But I might do something like Domino's Pistol with Superpower Training, clear Superpower Training, put White Fox on top of the deck, and then play Pip the Pug. Seems very strong to me. Pip will get us that jackpot back in the deck. So I don't think we're going to block with Ghost Spider just yet. We will stun her and let that attack go through undefended. So it's only 1, 2, 3. Oh, we should go ahead and get our health dial out here. So we're down to 6 health, but we can always heal back up with Adam Morlock later. And we get a side skim. In the midst of chaos, when revealed, place 1 per player additional threat here for each villain under routed. Well, there are none yet, so we're just going to come in with 3. And we should have had our first knock counter at the beginning of the villain phase, but we'll add it now. And as long as we survive the next villain phase, there's no need to clear the main scheme because it's going to be advancing on stage 3 anyways. So I want to swap White Fox to the top of the deck. And then we're going to use Pistol to play Superpower Training. And then we'll have Beast, thwart for 2, Ghost Spider, thwart for 1, and clear Superpower Training. We'll get that Pistol right back. And let's go ahead and Pistol into Vertigo, which is going to get us White Fox. 1 damage. Okay. Now if we swing with Domino, we have a chance of getting a Digging Deep, which I like here. So let's go ahead and clear that side scheme. So we're swinging for 1, we're going to discard a card for Probability Field, and we do get that Digging Deep, so that's 3 threat. Digging Deep gets added to hand. And now we can play both a Good Workout and Pip the Pug here. Diamondback is great, but I like these other lines of play as well. So here's a Good Workout, deal 4 damage, discard the top card of the deck. It is a 1 resource icon, so it's going to be 5 damage. And then we'll go ahead and get out Pip. And let's have White Fox attack for 1. And we're just going to queue up Vertigo. One nice thing about this encounter is there are a lot of ways for the villains to get attachments, but because they're all different villains, if you defeat the villain, the attachment will fall off and not stay attached for the next villain. So we're going to flip up, draw a hand of 5. This is a good hand of 5. I think this round we may block with Ghost Spider. So let's have 1 threat on the main, second knock counter. Yeah, let's go ahead and block with Ghost Spider. So she is attacking for 1, 2, 3. We're going to give her the +2 attack. And that's 6. So Ghost Spider goes away. And her interrupt is that when she leaves play, we search our deck for an identity-specific event and add it to our hand. So we're going to grab Luck Be a Lady here. And then our encounter card is Vertigo. That is not going to enter play. It's going to deal us another encounter card instead, per the unique rules. And then Caught Off Guard. Oh man. Tough decisions here. I think because of Vertigo's 3 scheme, we might not get a lot of use out of Pip the Pug at the moment, so we're going to toss him and get him back later, maybe. Now, who can we make the call for? Diamondback, Ghost Spider. I mean, I'd love to get Adam out, for sure. There is a chance we flip down this turn because the main scheme is advancing anyways, and then she schemes on the next stage, but that is a little bit risky. Always the double advance possibility. Let's go ahead and put CITT on top of the deck, and let's see what Luck Be a Lady does for us. So we're going to X-Gene into Luck Be a Lady, and that's going to discard CITT, so we're going to count that wild twice. Now the threat doesn't really matter here, so we definitely want to heal 2 damage from a character or deal 3 damage to an enemy, or we can do the same option twice. We could do heal 2 damage twice, or we could deal 3 damage twice. Now dealing 3 damage twice is going to push Vertigo, and that's going to make the next villain activate against us, but we do have White Fox as a blocker here. So that might be our best bet, and if the next villain is a 1-threat villain, we could flip down to Alter Ego. So let's go ahead and do 6 damage to Vertigo. She's going to go ahead and get tucked under Routed. It looks like the next villain is Blockbuster, so he comes in with 14. And his Forced Interrupt is give him a tough status card, or he gets +2 attack and Overkill. So I'm thinking we're just going to give him a tough status card and block with White Fox, because we can always ping that tough off with Pistol. So let's block here. And if this activation is an attack, it gains Overkill anyways. So that's +1, 3, 4. So 2 damage onto White Fox, 2 damage onto Domino. Okay. Now Pistol is ranged, so we will ignore the Retaliate on Routed. Let's go ahead and fire that pistol, see if we hit a Digging Deep. It is powering all of us, but just going into the tough. We might just flip and recover here. Probability Field will boost our recovery as well, because it's a basic power. It just doesn't double because, or it doesn't double wilds, because Domino, she only doubles wilds in her hero form. Now if we hit a double resource, we will get a boost to that recovery. Now Make the Call for Ghost Spider is possible here. We could do Make the Call for Ghost Spider and maybe something else, honestly. We could do Diamondback and Ghost Spider. So if we use Make the Call, spending Adam Morlock and Innovation, no, we won't be able to swap for this power on all of us. Maybe we just play Adam Morlock and have him use the power on all of us to heal us. It is non-attack damage, so we'll ignore the Retaliate on Blockbuster. So maybe we start getting in some hits onto Blockbuster, and we just ignore Make the Call for now. Let's use Make the Call, Innovation, and Make the Call for Adam Warlock. That is going to heal 1 from Beast because of Innovation. And then Adam doesn't have a lot to do, so he'll meaninglessly thwart the main just to avoid the Retaliate. And he's going to discard this wild, so we get to pick anything we want. We're going to pick the 3 damage. We'll hang on to Beasts, flip down, recover, we'll boost it with Probability Field. And there is that double. So we're going to be recovering for 3 plus 2, and we're back up to full health. And we're going to have a double on top of our discard pile, so we will be able to swap that into hand next turn as well. 6-card hand, 1 threat on the main scheme. The 3rd knock counter comes on, which is going to advance us to the next stage. Each player puts 1 set-aside Morlock ally into play under their control, 2 if it's a single-player game, and then shuffle the Hide Treachery into the encounter deck. If the previous stage was advanced by knock counters, give each Morlock ally a tough status card. So we're going to get 2 of these Morlocks. And now the game turns into protecting the Morlocks. They have an ability, does not count against your ally limit. Card abilities cannot remove this ally from play. When an enemy attacks you, it attacks a Morlock you control instead. So all undefended attacks are going to be going into the Morlocks. And the next stage has this loss condition at the bottom. If this stage is completed or there are no Morlock allies in play, the players lose the game. If there are 3 villains underrouted, the players win the game. And we can exhaust a Morlock ally to shuffle Hide from the encounter discard into the encounter deck. And this Hide Treachery is pretty powerful because it gives them a status card either as a boost effect or as a when revealed. So we may as well use some of their toughs up so we can get a tough back. And this comes on with 0 threat. We don't need these anymore. And Blockbuster will scheme for 1 plus 1. If we control a Morlock ally, choose to either deal 1 damage to it or spend a resource of any type. We're going to just deal a damage to it. 2 threat on the main. And the encounter card is Chimera. Patrol, 5 hit points. When she attacks, either spend a mental or she gets +2 attack for this attack. Okay, but we are in such a good spot here, and we have so much money. I think we're going to swap Outlaw with this double. We'll use Deadpool to play Weapon X. We'll have Weapon X dig for something, maybe hit a Digging Deep. Ah, we had it on the first one. And then we're going to right place, right time, and strength for Professor, which will confuse Blockbuster. And there's a chance we flip down, even though we can't thwart them in. And getting Digging Deep on top of our deck, using Domino's pistol is great. But we're just going to get an extra turn of build here, because Blockbuster is confused. So let's go ahead and just build. We can have Beast hit Chimera for 2. And then we'll use 1 Morlock to hit her for 1. And we can either clear her and thwart the main. Does waste Adam a little bit. I mean, we may as well. May as well clear her and thwart the main. Look at how clean this board state is. We can even recover here. Back to full. Amazing. And next turn we can Professor X again, because it'll be the top card of our discard. And so much money. Wow. Okay, 1 throw on the main scheme. Blockbuster is confused. And we're going to get a side scheme. Has hinder 1 per player, so comes in with 4. The Senator's Support. This kind of hardware isn't found on the black market. Someone high up in the US government must be supplying it. When defeated, the first player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until an attachment is discarded and reveals that card. It's got an amplify, so this is what we're talking about. We want to get Blockbuster down to as low as possible and then clear this side scheme so that when we push Blockbuster, the attachment just falls right off. Alright, Professor X on top of the discard pile. Let's go ahead and swap Gamora and Professor into hand. I mean, we could just stay down an additional turn if we want. How crazy would that be? Pretty crazy. We should get Call for Backup out there. Maybe start working on that. Let's Weapon X again. Immediate hit. Right place, right time, and energy for Professor. He'll confuse, and Professor could just clear Call for Backup right away. But I think we'll just get that side scheme within range and start punching Blockbuster a little bit. Genius for our other pistol. We will recover back to full. And let's have both Morlocks swing on Blockbuster. And we'll have Beast swing here for 2. And we should be able to kill him with the pistols when we flip up. Maybe worthwhile getting Adam back in the shuffle too as well. Yeah, let's get Adam back in the shuffle. Swing for 1. Get him back in there. Unfortunately, this game has not been showcasing off the Adam Morlock combo super well, but it's been such a controlled game, and we're just gonna blow through it in a couple turns. Okay. 1 threat on the main. Blockbuster is confused. And Inhibitor Caller, and this is one of the weakest encounter cards in all of Next Evolution. Treats your identity's printed text box as if it were blank. -1 attack. And then to get rid of it, we can exhaust a character we control or take 3 damage, and any character can do this. And these Morlocks are perfect fodder for exhausting for the inhibitor caller. So we're going to do that right away. We should get an extra encounter card as well, because we did deck. And this encounter card is another inhibitor caller, so we'll go ahead and just exhaust the second Morlock for that. Wow, digging deep in White Fox to put on top of the deck. We drew Innovation. Maybe we should have held that Adam Morlock. Professor X is gone, but we could even just do him again. Call for backup into Adam Warlock seems very good here. I mean, yeah, this is just insanity. We'll swap Gamora for Professor. Let's go ahead and Weapon X and get something. Okay, Digging Deep got discarded, so it adds to our hand. Second Digging Deep. This is how rich we are. Jackpot. Now we can either add this to our hand or shuffle it back in. We have enough money. We already used our discard swap. Is there anything we wanted to put under Painted Lady? Maybe we'll put this Make the Call under Painted Lady. Weapon X and X Gene are usually my go-to Painted Ladies or any double resource, but discard cards from your deck until you discard an identity-specific card. Add it to your hand. After it's discarded, we can shuffle it into our deck. I think we're going to have to draw it here, but that's okay, because we're going to get a lot done with this single jackpot. We'll do 3, oops, not White Fox, 3 for Professor. We'll get the Confuse, even though I think we're going to, actually, so let's save Professor for when we pop him, so we can confuse the next one. And we're going to need a chump too. So let's go ahead and flip up. We'll swap White Fox on top of our deck, because once that next villain comes out, it is going to activate against us immediately. Oh, Outlaw is also good here. We're going to pistol Blockbuster for 1 damage. Let's, oh, White Fox goes into play. We'll pistol again for 2 damage. We're getting to the point where we should consider getting that side scheme down. And then we can pop him with good workout. So let's thwart with Domino. We have all 3 Digging Deeps and White Fox here, so we don't really need to discard anything. So let's thwart for 1. Discard cards for an attachment and reveal it. There's an attachment. Okay. And this attachment is bolstered by Wrath. It's just a +1/+1. We can exhaust a character and spend resources to get rid of it, or we can just deal them 3 damage, which is what we will be doing here. Now, Innovation can also heal our Morlocks, which is nice. I mean, we can pretty much do everything. We can spend 3 for Outlaw, and Outlaw can take the hit from her Tough. We can spend 2 for a good workout, and we can spend Jackpot for Professor X, and Professor can clear Call for backup if we need to. So many good options because we are Domino. 3 resources for Outlaw and Tough. And let's go ahead and spend Lucky and Good and Innovation. We'll heal one of our Morlocks for a good workout. We don't need to discard because it is going to send Blockbuster to Routed. That he did not survive, so we don't take the Retaliate. Oh, I think we missed a couple instances of Retaliate earlier. So these Morlocks should have some more damage. We'll put them at 3 each, because I think we missed some on Beast maybe, and Adam Warlock. So we'll just put them at Death's Door as a fairness. Okay, Harpoon. Take 3 indirect damage, or give him an additional face-down boost card, and he gains Overkill. Let's go ahead and give him an additional boost card and Overkill, and we're going to defend with Outlaw's Tough. No boost abilities. So our Tough is gone. Retaliate 2 is in effect. We're going to go ahead and play Professor X. He will confuse Harpoon. We may as well thwart one off the main with White Fox. Professor X will go ahead and clear Call for Backup. And we can even go for Gamora here. Try to hit Luck Be a Lady and X-Gene. So I think we might do that. Gamora will override White Fox. She will thwart for 1. And we did hit Luck Be a Lady. Oh, wait, no, we hit Make the Call. We could even just attach it to Painted Lady. I think we'll just discard it. Man, hitting Luck Be a Lady would have been amazing there. What a strong play that would have been. Alright, Harpoon is going to be attacking us with an additional boost card and Overkill. We're going to defend this one. Probability Field. So we're defending for 5. He's attacking for 3, 4. And give them one Morlock ally a tough status card and an additional boost for the villain. There's a tough on this guy. And 3. So he's attacking for 7. We defended for 5. And so we take 2. And we're going to go ahead and shuffle that hide in the player phase. Encounter card, Advance, Schemes, but he's confused. We will exhaust our tough Morlock to shuffle hide into the encounter deck. Professor X is gone. Now, can we just end the game this turn? We have 13 damage. We might. Start with Luck Be a Lady. Discard the top card. It is a double genius. That's unfortunate. So it just clears the main. And we're going to stash that under Painted Lady. And then maybe we just swap some of our money. So our pistols hit for more. Alright, pistols, 4-2. Under other pistol, 4-2. Those are both ranged. Outlaw, 4-3. She takes Retaliate 2 inconsequential, so she's gone. The Retaliate would kill Gamora, unfortunately. As well as the Morlock. Let's flip down. He's one schemer. We can make the call for Professor, play Lucky Break, or hit something off Weapon X. So we'll flip. Do we want to add anything to our hand here? We can add Make the Call to hand. Make the call, energy, right place, right time. We'll grab Professor X for us. That'll get us a confuse. We'll just put Lucky Break down. Or no, let's Weapon X first. See what that gets us. Ghost Spider in the discard. Did not get Sharpshooter out all game. Pip the Pug. Well, I'm glad that we did it like this because we can pip and we can Lucky Break and then we can pip something to the top of the deck. It's probably going to be Jackpot. And then next turn, we're going to Jackpot him a bunch of times from the top of the deck. Okay. Extra encounter card. 3 more cards. 1 on the main. Confused. 2 encounter cards. First one is an attachment. And this one is he can't take more than 2 damage from a single attack. That's fine. Assault surges into Blockbuster. Guard. Well, this is going to slow us down a little bit. We can play CITT and show off that combo. Let's go ahead and Painted Lady to get this genius back to our hand. we can Weapon X for something. I would almost stash energy under there, but we're going to win this turn anyways. So many ways to win, just a matter of how to do it. What's the flashiest? We'll spend Ghost Spider and a good workout for CITT. Spend Genius for Diamondback. You can swap Deadpool for Genius. Flip up. We can put Jackpot on top of our deck. Okay. X-Gene into Luck Be a Lady. We'll discard, or sorry, not Luck Be a Lady. We want to do Diamondback for this. Diamondback into Jackpot. Shuffle that back in. 3 damage to everything. Non-attack damage, so it ignores guard. She takes a damage. We can go ahead and Gamora to clear Blockbuster. And then she will get us an event. We can spend 2 for CITT to ready Gamora. We may as well clear everything. Discard for another event. And how can we do this with style? Let's X-Gene for Lucky Be a Lady. Got Digging Deep. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. Heal 2 damage from a character. So we'll heal our Morlock here. Deal 3 damage here. We had it in so many different ways, but Luck Be a Lady is a great send-off for this game. So I think we played this fairly accurately. Maybe we missed Retaliate a couple times on Adam Morlock and Beast, and maybe the Morlocks, but hopefully that added health on the Morlocks makes up for that. If you have any questions, or if you saw anywhere else where we could have played better, let me know. And have a great time playing Marvel Champions.